Greetings, my brothers and sisters, and welcome to Meaningful Monday. Today, I would like to share Circles Won't Get You There. Our Bible lesson is found in Mark, the 5th chapter, beginning at the 25th verse. And the word of the Lord declares a woman in the crowd had suffered for 12 years with constant bleeding. She had suffered a great deal from many doctors, and over the years she had spent everything she had to pay them. But she had gotten no better. In fact, she had gotten worse. She had heard about Jesus, so she came up behind him through the crowd and touched his robe. For she thought to herself, if I can just touch his robe, I will be healed. Immediately the bleeding stopped, and she could feel in her body that she had been healed of her terrible condition. Jesus realized at once that healing had gone out from him, so he turned around in the crowd and asked, "Who touched my robe?" His disciples said to him, "Look at this crowd pressing around you. How can you ask who touched you?" But he kept on looking around to see who had done it. Then the frightened woman, trembling at the realization of what had happened to her, came and fell to the ground, her knees in front of him, and told him what she had done. And he said to her, "Daughter, your faith have made you well. Go in peace. Your suffering is over." My brothers and sisters, circles won't get you there. When we look at the woman with the issue of blood, her bleeding was unyielding, yet her faith was unwavering. The bleeding became her purpose, and her purpose was to be healed. She petitions herself where she can touch. She positions herself where she can touch him. She petitions for a healing from him. She persists towards her objective. If I can but touch his garment. She plants her conscience upwards. My brothers and sisters, her actions speak of her belief. Her attitudes speak of her need, and her aim speaks of her purpose. She came behind him. Notice she moved quietly beyond her physical condition. She moved passionately in protest of betrayal of sickness against her body. She moved intentionally to command a place as a member of her community. And lastly, she moved gracefully to reclaim her existence without unnecessary attention. My brothers and sisters, circles won't get you there. This woman had gone for 12 years back and forth to the doctors, back and forth to the doctors in circular motion, and she grew worse instead of better. In this, likewise, I want you to not waste your time in circular conversations, conversations that go nowhere. Do not waste your time in circular relationships where it's always about what you can do for another person, yet it's never what they can do for you. And lastly, do not waste your time in circular, unnecessary plans and purposes that will not render a great reward of victory for you. Circles won't get you there. Notice the woman with an issue of blood had positioned herself that she was moving forward, no longer in circular circumstances, no longer with a circular relationship, no longer in circular purposes and plans that was not going to yield her her greatest need. She needed to be healed. My brothers and sisters, I want you to maximize this moment. Jesus asks, "Who entered this dimension?" When the woman persisted and reached out and touched him, she had moved from the dimension of praise into the dimension of worship. Notice people around you. His disciples questioned the authenticity of the touch. They said to Jesus, "How can you single out a touch when there are so many people surrounding you?" My brothers and sisters, when you move from circular conditions and circular relationships and circular conversations, and you get in one withstanding and right relationship with God, you can move from the dimension of praise into the dimension of worship. And I want you to maximize this moment and see how these thoughts from the woman with the issue of blood, how these principles can be applicable in your life. Her body was a symbol of roadblocks. Her reach was a window of opportunity, and her touch was a risk she was willing to take because circles would not get her there. My brothers and sisters, I hope you enjoyed this week's Meaningful Monday, and I want you to maximize this moment that circles won't get you there. Have a blessed and fruitful day in the Lord.